Welcome back. Today we are going to learn about functions. A function is nothing more than a formula which tells you what to do with a number, typically denoted by x. It tells you what to do with the number so that you can turn it into a different number. What do I mean by that? So let's just say I tell you that if I give you a number, you're going to multiply that by 3 and add 2 to it. So that's what this function does. As an example, so let's say I give you x equals 0 and that function, then the corresponding y value is going to be 2. So similarly, x equals plus 1, y is 5, x equals 2, y is 8, x equals minus 1, y is minus 1. You can verify that if you'd like. So the role of the function is to take a value from a certain space or a set and turn it into another value. So the space from which the x value is drawn has a specific name. So we draw the x value from a set known as the domain of the function. In the function that we have defined, the domain is the entire real line. Entire real line. So it is all real numbers, and this, you don't have to remember this, is often denoted by this funny r. That is the entire real line. And the y values it creates is also the entire real line. That has a name. That is called the range of the function. The range is all the values that the function can possibly assume. Let us quickly take a look at another function where things might be a little bit different. It's not the whole line. So you guys must have come across this function known as the absolute value function, f of x equals abs x. What it does is it just returns the numerical value of the function without the sign. So for example, f of minus 2 is equal to 2. F of plus 2 is also equal to 2 if this is your function. Or f of minus pi is equal to pi. So now notice that the domain of this function is again all real numbers, but the range of the function is only the non-negative real numbers, because absolute value of x has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if that flew by too fast, don't worry, we will revisit it. Now I want to show you a cool little tool called Desmos. Desmos is a free graphics calculator. It will help you graph any function that you want. It's freely available. Desmos.com/calculator. So for example, let's plot this function. So y is the vertical axis, as you guys know, equals 3x plus 2. So that's what that function looks like. Let's try something a little more complicated. How about y equals 3 divided by x? So you see that's a nonlinear function, and that's actually in two different parts. We are going to explore this in a lot more detail later. This is called a hyperbola, and that has something funny going on at x equals 0 because you're dividing by x, and that is known as a singularity. So here we go back to our open board. In the next lesson, we are going to look at some practical examples, but before we do that, let us take a look at another function very quickly. This function is also a little bit funky, so let's denote it by g. G of x equals 2 to the x. What does this do? So x can be drawn from any value, whereas 2 to the x will always be non-negative. In fact, it'll be positive. So you can try to verify that on your own. We will move on to the next lesson shortly.